The attachment patterns that we develop in childhood can last for a long time, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those responses are fixed forever. Hi, my name is Laura Muka. I'm a poet and author. I write for children, and I also specialize in writing about relationships and attachment theory for adults. Attachment theory is the most significant theory of human relationships in the last century. It's an increasingly popular topic, and you might already have read, watched, or listened to something about it. It's used by psychologists, psychotherapists, social workers, teachers, nurses, parents, and more. But research suggests that while many professionals are familiar with the word attachment, they don't know all that much about what the theory and research actually say, even when they're claiming to base their work on it. And in popular writing, it's prone to being oversimplified or incorrect. But when it's understood correctly, it can explain how and why we see things, pay attention, manage our emotions, remember, think, and reflect when it comes to close relationships, both in childhood and adulthood. So, what is attachment theory? One of the most important ideas is that we're all predisposed to turn to someone important when we are hurt, worried, upset, or scared. As a child, this might be a relative, teacher, or neighbour. As an adult, this might be a family member, romantic partner, or best friend. Ideally, this important person would be there for us when we need it. And by there for us, I mean available, but also willing and able to comfort and protect us. Then, when they're there for us again and again and again, we start to trust that we have a safe haven. This is called security. Once we have that trust, we can use that important person as a secure base. And that means that we can venture off into the world to explore and learn, safe in the knowledge that if we need help, we will get it. But for some children, the experiences they have with their important people mean they don't fully trust that they will have a safe haven when they need one. This is called insecurity. Around half of us are classified as insecure. Insecurity can take different forms. You might try to hide your upset, hurt, worry, or fear. Or you might try really hard to get your important person's attention and keep it. Or you might seem apprehensive around them. These ways of behaving may seem very different, but they may all reflect the same thing: an uncertainty about whether someone important will be there for you and to what degree. And these ways of behaving might be the best you can do as a child to get someone important to be there. For example, imagine you have a parent that gets annoyed if you hurt yourself or get upset. If you avoid asking for their help, you can avoid being told off. While at the same time, because you haven't annoyed them, you can stay close to them physically, albeit not emotionally. And that's better than nothing. That strategy might be the best option for you as a child, but it might be something that creates distance in your romantic relationships as an adult. And worse, because it's a pattern you've learned when you were little, you may have no idea that you're doing it or why. And that brings us on to, why is attachment important after childhood? Attachment theory is relevant to understanding yourself and your relationships throughout your life. Attachment patterns we develop in childhood can stick around and impact close adult relationships in helpful and unhelpful ways. Understanding this can help you understand the way you and others think and behave, and how those ways of thinking and behaving might interact. It might also help you think about whether those ways of thinking and behaving are working for you or not, and if you want to try to change them. It can also help you appreciate that when it comes to close relationships, we don't all think and behave in the same way. Attachment security is also linked to better physical and mental health, and insecure with worse. Although that doesn't mean attachment insecurity always leads to negative things later in life, or that people with secure relationships are somehow immune to sadness, but it is often relevant. So, how do you know what your attachment pattern is? It's helpful to learn about attachment theory and understand that there may be reasons why we behave the way we do in relationships, and also to work on them if we want to. But when it comes to figuring out your own attachment pattern, it's seriously easy to get it wrong or oversimplify. The attachment patterns that we develop in childhood can last for a long time, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those responses are fixed forever. If our important person changes the way they respond to us, our expectations can change. And the same is true if a new important person emerges who is able to provide us with a safe haven. As adults, we can also consciously choose to change our path. Although that change probably won't be instant, we might change by learning about relationships, seeing a therapist, or developing a close relationship with someone who has had a secure attachment pattern themselves. So what have we learned? Attachment theory is an umbrella term. And even though the word attachment is used to mean different things, it's really confusing. And that's why a lot of people are confused by it. But something that most researchers agree on is that humans need a safe haven from the cradle to the grave, whether that's in the form of a parent, teacher, aunt, grandparent, neighbor, psychologist, partner, or best friend. It's all about having a safe haven in times of crisis. And when we believe that we have that, we are free to explore and learn about the world. You don't need to become an expert in attachment theory to appreciate this fundamental premise and to allow that to influence your thinking and behaviour if you want it to. So no matter what our own attachment pattern, we can consciously try to provide a safe haven for others. And when it comes to our own adult relationships, we can help create safe havens by choosing our own important people wisely.